everybody and welcome back, and let us continue with our port scanner. So let me just log in into my Kali Linux machine, and in the previous video we coded the most simple version of a port scanner. We provided the IP address and the port that we want to scan in the code itself, and we were able to actually determine whether that port is closed or open by performing the socket.connect function on that local host and on that local port. So let us see how that program looked like, so we can actually modify it. Now let me zoom this in so you can see this a little bit better. Let me just get this. So view, zoom in. I will zoom in twice so you can see everything really well. And if I just type here ls and go to my Python programs directory with this cd command, if I ls once again, I have the scanning directory, so I will go to the scanning directory as well. And here is my port scan1.py. So let us actually nano that port scan1.py in order to see what we can actually change in order to make this a little bit better. So let's think about this. First of all, there is really no point in actually making the user of our program actually specify the IP address and the port in the program code itself. Maybe some of the users don't really know how to actually open the program and how to specify and where to specify the local host. So what we want to do is we actually want to prompt them with the question to specify the IP address themselves and the port as well. So let us see how we can do that. Basically what we want to do is we want to delete these two values, so delete the IP address and delete the port. And instead of that, what we want to do is we want to actually prompt the user of our program to specify any IP address they want and any port they want. So let us see how we can do that. So we can do that with the raw input command. As we can see, raw_input will prompt the user with the question that we specify in the brackets. So you need to open and close brackets, and between the brackets open the double quotes as if you're specifying the string, and there we can just prompt the user something like this. So plus, or let's just type here star, doesn't even matter, this is just some decoration, and just type here enter the host to scan, then two dots and then space. So this means basically the raw_input function means that this will be prompted once the user runs the program, and it will wait for the user to specify the IP address or basically anything they want to specify. In our case, in this program, it will be an IP address, and so as they specify that, it will continue running the code, and it will go to the port where we want to do the same. So raw input, we want to prompt the user to actually specify the port which they want to scan. So we just type here enter the port to scan, two dots and then closed question marks, closed double quotes and then closed brackets. So as we can see right here, right now if we actually run this, so Control O to save this, enter and then Control X to exit, and we run the port scan1.py, you can see that right now it asks us enter the host to scan, and it waits right here until we actually write something. So let us check the IP address of our Windows machine once again, since I restarted my computer since last video, and okay, so it's still .1.4, and if I specify 192.168.1.4 and I press enter, it will ask enter the port to scan. Now if I just specify here the port number, this will most likely crash. So let me just show you. If I specify 445, which is an open port on my Windows 10 machine, as you can see, it crashed. Now in Python 2, it will say an integer is required. So all you have to do is nano that port scan1.py and just type here raw input and then integer. So open brackets, integer, open another brackets, leave this as we specified, and at the end just close double brackets. Now what this will do is basically the value that the user specifies, it will turn that into the integer which is needed in order to perform the port scanner function. So let us save this once again and exit. And if I run this once again, so I specify the same IP address, 192.168.1.4. Oops, enter the port to scan. Okay, so let me just check this out. We probably need to specify it like this. So delete this integer and type before the raw input. Yeah, I believe this is what we need to do. So it first goes integer, then open brackets, then raw underscore input, then open brackets, and then this string right here, and then two closed brackets. So let's save this once again and try to run it. 192.168.1.4, and then port to scan 445. As we can see, then we get prompted port 445 is opened. So right now, first of all, we should not specify is opened, we should specify is open. I believe that is the correct English. Pardon me if I am wrong, but it doesn't really matter. So port is open. We can now specify any IP address. So let's see if we can actually run the program twice. So let me just clear my screen. We run the program with this command. We scan once again my Windows 10 machine on port 139, for example. Now port 139 is open, which is correct. And then let's actually try to scan my router, which is at the IP address of 192.168.1.1, and I scan the same port, and right now, as you can see, this will hang. Now don't worry, this is actually hanging because my router is really slow. So in order to prevent from this hanging on certain hosts, we can add a simple one line code to our port scanner in order to prevent this. So let me just control Y this in order to close the program itself. Let me nano the port scan1.py, and all we have to do is right here specify socket dot set default timeout, and then default timeout will be in the brackets in seconds. So let's specify 2 seconds. What this will do is it will actually try to perform every action within the 2 seconds, and if basically the 2 seconds expire, it will just print the port is closed. So let's see if this will work. Control O to save, run this once again, set default. Okay, so this is a typo. Whoops. It's not set default. We need E right here. So set default timeout. Save this and run the program. 192.168.1.1, 139. And we wait now 2 seconds. And that is more than 2 seconds, but I'm not really sure why does it take so long. But I always had this problem with my router. It doesn't really matter currently. What matters is if I run this on my laptop, which is .1.15, so that is the IP address of my laptop, and I specify port 80, we get everything within matter of seconds. So port 80 is open. Let's try now other port on my, for example, Windows 10 machine. Let's try port 33. Now this will actually scan, and it will say port 33 is closed. So we did a little upgrade to our program. As you remember in previous video, we actually specified both the IP address and the port in the code itself, and right now we prompted the user to specify any IP address and any port they want. So let me just nano the program itself. So as we can see, we changed this part, and we also added this socket.setDefaultTimeout to be 2 seconds. So in the next video, we will actually upgrade even more this port scanner, and we will try to make it scan multiple ports and not just one port. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope I will see you in the next one. Bye!